Here in my Halloween in August junk journal, I have a lot of pockets and belly bands, tuck spots and so on, which are still empty. So I would like to create some tags and journaling cards, little papers today, which I can put into those pockets and belly bands and, what is the third thing? Tuck spots. But at the same time, I'm facing this situation. As you can see, it happened already a lot in this journal. It is not bulky yet, but I can feel that it is already pretty full. And I want to avoid bulk in this journal. I want to avoid that this gets too thick in the end. So I want to think about something which is flat and doesn't add bulk to this journal. And at the same time, I want to fulfill a little wish. In my paper premiere about my Halloween in August printable, I mentioned that there is one specific printable from my shop which would fit the Halloween in August collection really well. And you said you want to see how I combine that paper collection with the Halloween in August paper collection. The paper collection I'm talking about is called Dried Gatherings. You can see a few papers from that collection here. There's a total of 3 items in my shop available. Dried Gatherings Volume 1 and Volume 2, which are full-sized pages. Ooh. Here's another one. And there's also a Dried Gatherings ephemera pack available. I will link everything down below for you in the description box of this video. Of course, you could think, okay, we can just take the ephemera pack of the Dried Gatherings collection, cut everything out and throw that into the journal. Of course, that would be possible, yeah, we could do that. And that is also what I have done with the ephemera pack of the Halloween in August printable. These little pockets and the tags and so on, they all come from the ephemera pack from the Halloween in August collection, and I have just cut that out and put that into the journal. And that is of course a good thing. Yeah, there's nothing bad about a digital ephemera pack. That is nice because you can cut everything out and then you have little things like journaling cards and so on, and everything fits really well together proportionally. But what if you have something, let's say you have a journaling card from an ephemera pack and you want to have only a little portion of something, and then you cut the portion off, let's say you cut this off. Then that looks a little bit weird because here, this frame, this white frame, it then goes only here around like in a U shape. When I hold it like this, I don't know how I can say that, but here this frame is not there. Then you would have to make it by your own. That is a little bit weird, isn't it? Of course, you could tell your printer, print this smaller or print 2 sheets to 1 sheet or whatever, but I want to show you, and there's nothing against that, yeah, you could of course do that, but I want to show you that you can also take a full sheet and make your own pieces of ephemera, and especially cut them into the size you need them and cut those portions out you want to use for your ephemera. I have printed the Dried Gatherings pages here to different papers. This, everything is photo paper, but this is 200 GSM, this one and also this one, so that I have a nice and sturdy base for my ephemera pieces. And this is 110 GSM, so this is a little bit more thinner, because I thought if I don't want to add bulk, it's good to have something a little thinner, where I then can also cut some things out from this paper to glue that to this to make everything work. I hope that makes sense in a second. Let's put this away and let's first do a little meditation and look at the design of this paper, and then let's decide what we want to add here. I thought I want to start with stamping because I have something in mind, like a little mix of stamping some cutouts from this and some die cuts. And the first thing that jumps into my eyes is this circle here. Perhaps it looks nice when there's something in this circle. And I'm thinking about either a little mushroom or perhaps something like a bee or a moth or so. Or some kind of little creature. Oh. I think that is pretty clear, isn't it? We take him. So I want to stamp with black. I've chosen Black Suit Archival ink. And of course, you can do that with any color of ink you want. But the idea is to add to the digital paper what fits the journal, and of course add what you like. That looks really, really nice. Oh, perhaps let's take this little stamp here. Oh yes, that is really good. So then, these little dandelions, I think we could try to stamp something over here so that this center is then in the center of the something. Does that make sense? Where have I put this? Ah, here. I have this stamp set in mind. This is called French Garden, CMS 487. And this flower here, can we perhaps stamp that over here somehow? Let's see. A second ago, I know I said that the center of the dandelion can be in the center of the flower, but I think I changed my mind because look, I think if we do it like this, can look even cooler. Let's try to line the stem of the stamp flower up with the stem here of the printed flower, and let's perhaps not take black but brown, because this is brown as well. Oh, I'm sorry, this is ground espresso archival ink. Of course, you could also stamp with embossing ink and then emboss this whole thing. You could also stamp and then color the flowers or whatever you stamp. Could also look nice. I also have this stamp set, Forgotten Garden. As you can see, I want to try different stamp sets and try to get a little variation to this whole thing. So let's focus on this dandelion again, and let's see if we can make a nice arrangement. Here I'm stamping again in black because I think then that shows up better on the printable. Like so, and perhaps a smaller one here. That looks good. Here we have pretty big portion left over, but if we want to stamp there, you have to turn that around, otherwise I can't close the lid of the stamping platform because this is, you know, too wide. But that can also be a nice trick to turn something upside down and then look to the paper, yeah, from a different perspective. I also have this set, Abstract Florals CMS 479. I'm just thinking, perhaps like this. Oh yes. Oh yes, that is really good. Oh my goodness, look. Oh, I like that. Okay. How much is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that is already a lot. So let's take this off. And now, with this method, the challenge is to find the size of these ephemera pieces. Because on the one hand, we want to cut them out here really cleverly. And on the other hand, of course, they shall fit into the empty tuck spots and pockets and so on, which we have here. So let's see. Here, for example, this is pretty narrow. Is it possible to make this fit? I think so. Let's take a paper trimmer. And now, of course, you could measure this whole thing. You could take a ruler and measure your pocket. But if you know me, you know that I don't like measuring. Oh. Let me see. How do I have to cut this? This is not possible with this paper trimmer. Where are my scissors? So let's cut in here. Oh, this is really close together, but it will work. We will make it work. Let's just do it like this. Let's then cut it here. And then use the paper trimmer to make this straight. Ooh, oh my goodness, I said straight. Holy moly. Like this. And then I will check if it can already fit in here or if I have to cut it a little more narrow. So I will just cut little pieces off here until it fits into the pocket. Oh, look. First I thought it's a little bit long, but it has exactly the right length because now this circle, look, is here and the opening of the pocket is here. And this little guy can be visible here. And the rest looks like this. I really like that. Do we want to... Yes, I think we want to cut this off so that it looks like a tag. Okay. So then we have to remember that we wanted to use this pocket for this thing. Let's then go on and let's see where this flower could fit in. I have this pocket with the candy corn birds, and I think that is the perfect place because it's so big. I will just cut a little piece off here because my printer made a little mistake there. Perhaps like this, and then we can cut that a little bit shorter so that, I'm so sorry, so that that then fits in here nearly. Okay, that is good. So that is our second piece. And this here is also pretty big. So we need a spot in the journal where that can fit. That could be a good spot as well because this is really big. So let's cut this here. And here. So let's then perhaps take one of the other pages, which is printed on the thinner paper. And I'm thinking, I think I want to cut this out. If you don't like fuzzy cutting, of course you could also use only die cuts. But here I want to try how it looks when we have pieces which come from the paper and which we have cut out by hand, mixed with some die cuts. I think that gives a really nice combination, but of course you can do something beautiful without the need of fuzzy cutting as well. And to be honest, this wrecks my nerves completely. So I'm hoping that this looks good now. And oh yes. Oh. Okay, I think it was worth it to cut that out. I like that. So let's see, what else do we have? I think I want to have some of these little berries here, so I will cut these out as well. I even like it when it goes over the flower like this. That is really an unexpected thing. But since I love the flower so much, I want to try to, I want to see more of the flower, even if I like the other thing as well. So let's try to divide this like this. Oh yes. And then we can use these for one of the other pieces perhaps. This is a little bit weird, but I have an idea for this, so please wait a second. I have cut out some wildflowers, some birds and some cats from golden sticker paper and black watercolor paper, because I want to use these now to put them on here as well. But before I decide for the position of the die cuts, I will glue these down. Okay, and then we can see where we can put the wildflowers. So now I'm doing nothing else than layering these die cut flowers over the other layers. So then let's talk about the birds and the cats I have cut out, and let's find some nice places for those. Like this perhaps. Oh, that is cute. We could even put her a little higher and then later on add a little label here. Yep, that is wonderful. So then let's take these pieces which we have left over from cutting these pieces, because now we can take this and just cut little labels from these leftovers. Ooh, oh my goodness. Let's ink this so that it gets a little bit more visible. I don't know if I like this here because it's too matchy. Let's perhaps take this and try it out here because we still have these weird berries here. Yeah, I think that looks way better. And now the berries give a little addition to this label. I really like that. Let's take another color for here. Let's take this one. We could even, here is this little stem on the paper, we could even take this label and turn it around somehow so that it looks like the cat is sitting on this little stick there, and at the same time it's a label and you still have space here to write something, a date or so. I think that is really good. And then we need a last one for here. I think I want to have a really tiny one. And as you can see, I just take what is laying around here and what I have left over from cutting these pieces. And I really like that that is so easy, because when you just take these little pieces, then you have the perfect color, you have a nice, you know, little portion of the design on this label, and then everything looks good. So I will glue all of the loose pieces down here. So then I think I want to add a little hole here. And even if this is so big, and this is more like a journaling card, isn't it? It's not really a tag, but I think this looks interesting. So why can't we do this here? And what I also want to do is I want to ink these a little bit. What is that? Okay, and let's also add a few black splatters to bring the birds and the cats a little bit more to life. I think, splatters always make, that is probably a little bit too much, isn't it? Oh my goodness, a little bit too big. But nevertheless, splatters always make animals a little bit more alive somehow. Here we go. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 really flat ephemera pieces. Of course, this has to dry, and then I can take them and put them into my journal. And this makes me really happy because this is just so easy. It is pretty fast, and you can get a lot out of one printable sheet, and that is something that makes me even more happy. So I hope you like this idea. Have a very great and creative day. Bye bye.